And welcome to another episode of the Hammer Drops. I'm your host, Layak. Today, we're going to talk about the bullshit that is happening to the homeless vets in favor of these migrants that are coming over that are being bused to New York and all over the country. So it's going to be one of those episodes that if you're about and allowing to have all of these illegal immigrants come over and get free shit all the time, then this may not be the episode for you, and this may not be the show for you. Today, it's all going to come out. My views on how I feel about it. I'm not going to hold back anymore as far as that goes, because you know what? Let's face it, it doesn't really matter. If you were born here in America, if you're an American citizen, you have less fucking rights as a goddamn immigrant. And that is sickening and disgusting. Our men and women who have fought gallantly in the military, risked their lives, time with their family to serve this country, get shit on daily by our politicians. And for what? If it wasn't for our military, men and women, those politicians wouldn't be where they're at. They wouldn't have those nice, cozy little fucking houses up in the hills, those mansions, or anything like that. They wouldn't have the freedoms that they have right now if it wasn't for our military. But unfortunately, it's because they're American citizens and they're secondhand to these immigrants. Did you folks know that if you came over illegally right now, not only do you get a free phone, but you get money, you get a bunch of free shit? Why do you think these people are coming here? They don't care about this fucking country. And if you think they do, maybe you should look and do some fucking research and look at what they're doing. It's and I want to apologize real quick here about how vulgar I am in this, because this directly affects all of us and should show you where we stand with our politicians. Now, did you know if you're an immigrant, and I've talked with many people about this when they were in the process of buying a home or buying a car, and because if they were, let's just say if they were Mexican, or if they were an illegal immigrant or an immigrant of some sort of color, their chances on getting a house that more than what they can afford at a lower interest rate happens, just like it does with the car. Why do you think you see so many of these immigrants driving around a brand new 2020 or 21, 22, whatever, like Cadillac and all these extravagant cars? Did you ever ask yourself that? Probably not, because we have been taught, if we were to ask those questions, that we may be a racist. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not. If you want to, questioning things is our God-given right. It just is. And if you don't question things, that's when there's problems. Because then you're just like everybody else. You're a sheeple. Now, I'm not against immigrants, because the United States of America, one thing that's great about this nation, about America, is we were founded by immigrants. They came here for a better way of life and not to be ruled by the crown. And yet here we are. We're being ruled by a bunch of people in DC that can give a rat's ass about me or you. And I don't give a shit what side of the aisle that you're on. You can be a Republican, you can be a fucking Democrat, a liberal, libertarian, whatever. They don't fucking care about you. And the minute you finally realize that they don't give a shit about you, and hopefully this will make you understand or show you that they don't give a shit about you, then maybe you'll wake up. So, like I was saying before my little rant, Our homeless vets are being booted out of the hotels that they were staying in New York right now for a mere $90 extra a day per room that's being taken up by these illegal immigrants. Is that fair for our vets, our homeless vets, for this to be happening to them? Do you condone this? Because if you do, you're part of the fucking problem. And it's funny because the Democrats will sit there and say that the Republicans want to take away from our vets. And here we are in a Democratic-run state, Democratic-run city. They're kicking out our vets out of rooms that they're staying in because they got nowhere else to go for a mere $90 extra fucking a day. If this doesn't piss you off, I don't know what else will. And I'm not here trying to piss you off. I'm trying to wake people up and bring this stuff to people because this kind of stuff isn't going to be covered that much on news because the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about this because this goes against everything that Joe Biden and the Democrats are fucking saying that the Republicans are doing. And this is proof that it's happening. Not only in New York is this happening. Okay, maybe not so much with our veterans, but they're moving these people into other neighborhoods. In Chicago, they're moving them into the south side of Chicago, across the street from homes, in an old school that they don't use anymore. They're going to house about 250 to 300 illegal immigrants in these houses when Chicago can barely pay their own fucking way. Let's bring in some fucking immigrants because that's just what they do. They're a sanctuary city. But they don't give a shit because they see dollars and cents. They don't give a shit about the families that it's going to affect. People that are crossing over our borders right now are not just illegal immigrants. There have been people that have been on the terror watch list that have been grabbed. How many of those people that were on that watch list got through? And how many of those people are going to be at that school or at that hotel? You don't know because nobody is vetting these people. All they are doing is going down to the fucking border and here you go. Here's a court date for 4 or 5 years down the road. We'll see you then. Oh, by the way, here's a fucking phone. Here's some money. Here's some food. Here's all this other shit. Instead of taking care of the homeless situation we have here in the United States right now with Americans. Let's take care of the fucking immigrants. Let's give them everything for free and worry about them because they're not American. So bottom line here, folks, what I want you guys to honestly realize right now is if you were not an American, the government's going to care about you because you're going to be a vote for them. But if you're an American, they can give a fucking rat's ass about you. And that goes for Republicans and fucking Democrats. I am so sick and tired of even the Republicans right now. Republicans are fucking bigots. Democrats are fucking libtards. Plain and simple. Neither side gives a crap about you. And that is why Republicans and Democrats fear Donald Trump so much. Because he's not either one of them. Why do you think they're attacking him so much? It's because he's not like them. They fear him. And yeah, you might be sitting here listening to this like, yeah, sure. They fear him. Yeah, sure. Then let me hear your explanation for it. I would love to know your explanation. Why they are trying so hard against him. And yet they've already proven that Joe Biden and his crime family have accepted millions of dollars from fucking China, the Ukraine, and all of them. Hell, it's been on video that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, got the state's attorney in Ukraine fired before they gave him money. So why isn't Obama and fucking Biden being held accountable for that action? And that was on tape. But that's okay. If you're Trump, who goes against the grain, who wants to get rid of all these the alphabet fucking things, And I'm sorry, I might be stuttering here, but I'm very passionate about this subject. I've got family that have served over in the military and have been to Afghanistan and been to Iraq and have got shit on by this administration and what they did and how they pulled out of Afghanistan. So this is a big thing for me. I have family that has served. I unfortunately was not able to, or else I would have. And to see what this country and what these politicians are doing to them, if it doesn't make you angry, folks, again, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm going to show you. I want to show you a video, and in this video, it's a gentleman. I'll pull up his name, but he did a video, and it should really hit home. I posted up on the TikTok page, but it's from his name is John Matland. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. His name is Scott Ladido or something like that. I'm gonna play this video for you. Let me share. Well, bear with me here, folks. I'm gonna get this played up for you.
Hey, folks, as promised, I'm out here in front of City Hall, bringing attention to the scumbags that piss on our veterans. They suck up the milk and honey and piss on them. From the president to the mayor of this New York City. These two men are living the American dream. One's the president of the United States, the other's the mayor of the biggest city. And they piss on these veterans that gave them this life. This is how we treat them. You throw them out. The homeless veterans, you kick them out because you're making an extra $90 for illegal immigrants to house. These veterans ain't worth $90 fucking dollars. This is a fucking travesty.
And you know what, folks? If you can't agree with that, then I'm going to just say it right now, you're part of the fucking problem. It is a travesty that this is happening to our homeless vets right now. Ever since Vietnam, and when they came home from Vietnam, our vets have been treated like shit. It was up until when everything happened, September 11th, when we went to war over that stuff. When our vets started coming home, they were honored. At least so we thought they were. And I'm sure some of the vets would speak differently. I know that there's a lot of vets that are not very happy with the current affairs of our government and what is happening. And I'm going to be honest with you here, folks. I don't like Joe Biden. Okay, we all know this. But if this was Trump doing it, I would say the same fucking thing about him. I don't care what president is sitting in office right now, what mayor is sitting in office. If you're okay with an extra $90 a fucking day to throw our vets out like garbage to house illegal immigrants, then again, you're part of the fucking problem. It's like you're not going to get anywhere in the United States anymore unless you're an immigrant and you come over illegally. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, use your imagination there, because I'm sure I'm going to get some hate mail for this episode, or some comments or whatever, and that's okay, because I'm not going to back down from my fucking stance when it comes to this. My honest opinion is, send them back. Send them back over the border. We don't fucking need them. They don't care about our country. There's so many fucking videos out there that show you that they don't give a shit. that they can care less about the American way of life. And yet, mainstream media is not going to show it. And surprisingly, because you can see this stuff over on Twitter, because you have an owner that actually allows free speech from both sides. I mean, even though we already know, like with this whole Durham investigation. Now, let me talk about that real quick. The whole Durham investigation, when Adam Schiff was all, Trump's guilty. And all of a sudden Durham proves that he's not, that it was all a big lie put forth by Hillary Clinton and Obama to go against Trump because they thought that Hillary Clinton would win. And the fact that she didn't pissed them off. So, for 3 years, millions of dollars later, you investigate somebody over nothing. Everything that these people have thrown, Republicans and Democrats alike, have thrown at Donald Trump, Trump has beaten. And then you got people like this Harry Stinson and, bond paid for by the fucking DNC and probably fucking taking a load from Biden and Obama himself as well. Then you got Adam Schiff going out there just trying to discredit Durham now. You can't make this up. This is the I'm just going to say this. As Americans, I'm going to address the people. We the people of America. It's time that we put our foots down and actually stand up for what is right. And what is right is to honor those who have given up so much to protect our way of life, to protect our freedoms. See, our politicians want to continue to try to divide us. And unfortunately, it's working. Joe Biden last week goes to a college, prominently black. And just to keep the racial tensions high, he says white supremacy is the number one thing, or racism is the number one thing that is going to destroy us, or whatever the fuck he said when he was there. And the only reason he said what he said about white supremacy or anything like that was to keep racial tensions high, to keep black and white divided. But unfortunately for Joseph Biden, there's a lot of African Americans that are waking up finally. They're smart people. We're all smart. But we've been fed a line of bullshit, and unfortunately, we have gone one of two ways. It's time to stop listening to the propaganda that's being pushed to you on these news channels, and time to open your eyes and actually see what is happening. See what is going on. Embrace your neighbors. Give them a handshake. Help them out when they need it. Whether it shouldn't matter the color of their skin. And if you see somebody by the color of their skin, that's a problem. We're all Americans. We have one common goal, is to make America great again. Yeah, I know. I said MAGA, make America great again, because that's what it fucking means. But the left will have you believe that being MAGA, and you can be MAGA if you're a Democrat or liberal or libertarian, whatever. You can be MAGA because you want to make America great again. You don't want Marxism. You don't want socialism. You don't want communism to come in. And that, folks, is exactly what our politicians are trying to do with everything they're doing. I wrote an article about exactly the situation, like what is happening by the flooding of our borders to overwhelm the system. And by doing this, it's going to usher in socialism. And so anything with ism ends up communism. Let's be honest here. So that's what's happening. They're trying to collapse the system, and we can't allow it. We need to hold our ground. We need to be kind to one another. And don't let them divide us no longer. Because if we're united, we cannot be defeated. We won't go down. We need to stop the divide now if we want to survive. I think that's where I'm going to end it today, folks. You'll be able to watch this video in its entirety on Rumble and on Rumble only. If you want to listen to it, we're available on all podcast platforms. All you have to do is go to your favorite one, type in the Hammer Drops, and we will pop up. If you want to follow us over there on any of the social media, again, look us up on Facebook, Twitter, all of it, the Hammer Drops. Follow us. Make sure, whatever podcast platform or even on Rumble, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, because that's going to help get this out to more people. I'll provide links in the description below. And remember, folks, be good to one another. And don't let them divide us any longer. Until the next time.